Alright, first up I'm going to open up PC200W. That's a free download from our website. Just head to www.campbellsign.com.au, click the downloads link and then choose Starter Software and Program Generators and you'll find PC200W. Once installed, it should install an icon on your desktop. I'm going to double click on that and we'll have a look at PC200W. Alright, so I don't have any data loggers set up in this screen at the moment, hence the empty list on the left hand side. So I'm going to go ahead and add a data logger. That's what this button here is. There's a prompt here asking me to click on that button. This opens up the Easy Setup Wizard. A bit of an introduction, we'll skip past that. I'll click Next. My first choice is what type of data logger do I have? They have pictures there to give you a hand, so have a look at your data logger, see if you can match it to the picture type, or if you know the part number for your data logger already, just find it in that list. I have a CR1000, so that's what I've selected. There's a data logger name on the right hand side that defaults to the part number. I can change that to whatever I like really, Gavin's logger. Or if you had a particular site number in mind, you could enter that in this edit box here. So make sure you choose a unique name for your data logger. This is the name that you're going to refer back to every time when you want to look at the data for this station or change settings or whatever else you need to do later. So make sure that's got a unique name. Click Next. Right, next up, this is the COM port on your computer. It's a drop-down box. It will list all of the RS-232 communications ports you have on your computer. I'm using a USB to serial adapter. It actually has two ports on the adapter, so I get two options under USB serial port. And I've attached my data logger to COM3. Now this will change from computer to computer. If you have an RS-232 port built into your laptop or your PC, it's probably going to be COM1. Otherwise, if you're using one of those USB to serial adapters, choose the right one from that list. Those COM numbers could be anything, depending on your setup. Alright, I've chosen COM3. I'll click Next. Right, so some data logger settings to enter. The baud rate depends on your data logger. If you've just bought the data logger from us and you haven't changed any settings, the baud rate will be 115200. So this baud rate is the number of ones and zeros that are sent per second over your RS-232 cable. Default is 115200. If you've changed the setting to something else, choose it from that list. PAC bus address, don't worry too much about that. If you are networking a lot of loggers together, they each need to have an individual PAC bus address. If you're not, if this is just a straight connection, which it will be if you're using PC200W, leave the PAC bus address as number 1. Security code I'll leave as 0, and I'll click Next. Alright, a bit of a summary here. I'll click Next through that as well. I get the option to test communication. I'll click Next. There we go, my communication test was successful. If you get a failure here, you'll have to go back and check your settings. Make sure your logger is powered up. Make sure you're using the right cable. Alright, so there's some more things I can do here, set the clock, send a program and all the rest. I'm not going to do that in this video. I'm just going to click Finish. It asks me I'm currently connected to this station. Do I want to stay connected? Yes, I do. Now I have a logger on the left hand side. This is the screen I'm looking at in PC200W. It's telling me I'm connected. It's got a clock that is updating on the right hand side and it's telling me this is the program that is currently running in my data logger. Alright, so I'm going to click on the Monitor Data tab. This is going to show me the public table inside the data logger. The public table is the place where our measurements are stored temporarily before they're put into final storage. So this is going to show me my current measurements. It's got a record number and timestamp for each measurement, and I can see here I've got some values that are updating. Panel temperature, battery voltage, and air temperature, relative humidity, wind speed, wind direction, solar radiation, some pressures, rain, and that's it. Alright, so these are my current measurements. Very useful if you're on site with your laptop. Use this PC200W, have a look at this Monitor Data tab. make sure that you're getting valid measurements from all of your sensors. All of this looks good to me. That looks like it's between 0 and 360 degrees. That's between 0 and 100, and so on. Everything's looking pretty good in there. Be sure to check out part 3, where we're going to connect to our data logger and download some data.